So you spoke about reality check. You spoke about humility. अब मेरे साथ क्या हुआ था? Because of the way I had evolved, college was like a little शाहरुख खान वाला college. ठीक है? मतलब पैसे तो घर से ज्यादा मिलते नहीं थे. हाँ. लेकिन अलग अलग जुगाड़ लगा के, अलग अलग हसल करके, I managed to earn much more money than what I was getting at home.
Oh wow.
I did a side gig in college. I did some random stuff. I worked in some places which I've spoken about earlier. You know, the McDonald's and the Pizza Huts all add up to you in life, and it teaches you a lot in life.
True.
Right? But what people underestimate at that time as maybe survival hacks is actually the initial setting up of a very interesting term called Jugaad.
Yes.
And जुगाड़ जो है ना आज के डेट पे बहुत ओवररेटेड है, ओवरहाइप्ड है. हर कोई बोलता है भाई फाउंडर बनने के लिए, एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने के लिए जुगाड़ होना चाहिए. लेकिन आप 2 स्टेप बैक लो ना. आपको जिंदगी में सरवाइव करने के लिए भी जुगाड़ चाहिए.
Absolutely.
So take us through the mindset of that topper, the mindset who went to an SP Jain, mindset who wanted to go from the MBA path and then get the right jobs and the best jobs and the perfect set out path. How does Jugaad play that role of recalibrating every time? And how does it go across and make a person realize what are the rights, what are the wrongs, what are the blacks, what are the whites, and more importantly, what are the grays? Because life is about managing the
grays. Absolutely. No, so I'll tell you what happened, right? That SP Jain happened, but before the job happened, I met my husband.
Hi, क्या बात है?
Who's my lifeboat? You know, he's one of my biggest cheerleaders.
He's such a rock star. I love him.
He's such a, you know, he's my biggest cheerleader.
So Ankur and you met in SP Jain?
We met at SP Jain.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember
so SP Jain, you know, when I look back and connect the dots, I actually feel that I'm so glad I didn't get through to, let's say, the IIMs, because then I would have perhaps missed the chance of meeting him. Right? And jobs you can change. Hopefully, life partner you shouldn't need to change.
Hopefully.
Right? So, you know, the fact that I think we met there, I think was again a very big turning point and pivot, because also while our value systems are the same, our upbringing may be similar, but in personality, he was just the opposite of me.
That I agree.
Right?
Knowing him as I do, that I agree.
Totally, right? So he's somebody who's so comfortable in his skin. He's so secure, right? I was highly insecure, very introverted, very shy, not comfortable opening up. The only one survival thing that I had was my academic success. That was my shield, so to speak of, right? Or my defense mechanism. And he was somebody who was just so comfortable with people around, etc., right? So just being with him all these years has actually made me, like you said, I've turned 180 degrees from who I was. But for me, I think that biggest thing is him. And then I'll tell you something about my job that kind of changed me who I am. And, but yeah, so he's my lifeboat in that sense as well, right? There have been times and moments that, you know, I've not kind of been down in the dumps, and then he's kind of, you know, just him being around has helped me. So, but coming back to the Jugaad. We can
assure the viewers here that he has not scripted this script for you. And we are...
He doesn't even know I've said this. And I don't even think he knows I compliment him so much.
And the fact that we are, you know, praising him so much, of course I love him. He's a very dear friend, but we also understand that this is not a romantic show.
It's not romantic. So we're going to move to the Jugaad.
Let's move to the Jugaad. Let's talk about, you know, maybe the Jugaad also was Jugaading each other. But besides that Jugaad, let's go ahead.
Yes.
Talk a bit about that.
No, I had to tell this because I'll tell you the Jugaad that I started. So other than the academic, whatever Jugaad, right? Placement happened. Okay, so
this time you sat for placement and all properly.
Yeah, right. So I got a placement with Citibank. He got a placement with HCL. Citibank, I did
which division?
Treasury.
Fourth?
Treasury sales.
BKC. BKC, okay.
So this was a corporate bank treasury. That's where I returned. That's where I got my job. He got placed in HCL. The choices of placement for him were Noida or Chennai. And we were dating each other. So the first Jugaad that we had to do was how do we figure out that we are in the same city? So as you were saying, right? So the Jugaad applies to not just, you know, like serious stuff. It also applies to personal stuff. It
applies to life.
It applies to life, right? So we ended up being, Citibank said, आपको दिल्ली जाना है, तो दिल्ली में आपको ट्रेजरी नहीं दे सकते, हम अपना टीम वहाँ पे बंद कर रहे हैं. We have a sales role. And I was like, sales and me can't happen.
Because you have to meet people.
I have to meet people. And for me, treasury was a perfect role for me because I had to just sit behind a screen.
Correct. And hide behind the Excels.
Hide behind the Excels. And I thought I was really good at that. And I was like, this is perfect. So then I had a choice that should I go with my comfort zone or should I go with, you know, like being closer to family and being in a place where I could be, closer to Ankur. And I said, try karke dekhte hain. So that was the first time when I think I took a risk in that sense that, something that I knew was not my strength.
You stepped out of your comfort zone.
I stepped out of my comfort zone. And फिर I came to Delhi and मुझे बोला गया आपको sales करनी है. And Citibank में कोई induction नहीं मिलती है. You're put in the deep end of the ocean on day one.
Swim or sink?
Swim or sink. They said कि ये target है, जाओ, भागो. You figure it out.
Okay.
So that's where I really learned Jugaad. So the first 18 months or maybe 12 months, मेरा एक account नहीं close हुआ. I was like so sure कि मुझे शायद नौकरी से निकाल दिया जाएगा because कुछ सेल ही नहीं लाई थी मैं. It was an acquisition sales role in corporate banking. SME हमें Indian corporates को loan देना था and Indian corporates were so entrenched with nationalized banks that Citibank समझा के बताना पड़ता था उनको Citibank है क्या.
So simple भाषा में basically अगर for the viewers to understand it, कंपनियों को लोन देना था. कंपनी जो है जनरली नेशनल बैंक्स से लोन लेते थे बिकॉज उनको आदत था. एंड ये मीडियम सेक्टर कंपनी से उस टाइम पे देयर वाज नो स्टार्टअप्स, देयर वर नो न्यू एज बेचारे वालों को तो वैसे भी लोन कम ही मिलता है. तो उन लोगों को आपको जाके बोलना था कि भाई एक आप पीएनबी पे मत जाइए, एसबीआई पे मत जाइए या फिर आप किसी और पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक में मत जाइए, आप एक फॉरेन क्रीचर सिटी बैंक के नाम के बैंक के पास आइए.
राइट.
So that was also very daunting task because let's go a little step more granular into it because typically those days these kind of companies which were predominantly the MSME moving into maybe a little larger cap but not obviously the largest ones because they had enough options, most of them were Lala run. Right? And Lala mindset is a very different mindset because Lala mindset mein a lot of it is yaar hame baki समय पानी कम है. My way or the highway.
Yeah.
So now also Jugaad has to apply not just trying to sell a product and brand, but also to change the mindset.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to outline here is the thought process for viewers to understand the importance of Jugaad without undermining the term.
Yeah.
How do you go across and factor different forms of value in trying to get a job done? Selling, converting a mindset, concluding a deal.
Yeah.
That's the food chain.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So, take us through a journey of a girl who's just been thrown in. 12 महीने हो गए, sale एक भी नहीं हुआ. It's very easy to get depressed.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get self-doubt.
Yes.
Like you said, middle class, नौकरी से निकल दिया तो क्या होगा? It's also safety net because Citibank would have paid you a decent salary.
Absolutely.
That would have taken care of a lot of requirements at home. So that added accountability of being the elder child, taking care of the accountability of home and the fear of losing out because your inability to have that conversation and go out. There are a lot of mixed emotions, Ruchita.
Lots.
A lot of people will be dealing with mixed emotions similar to you. Take us through that mind space in a little more granular detail. How do you clear the fog?
So, there was a self-doubt. There was, कि मैं क्या गलत कर रही हूँ. मेरे को क्या सीखना है. There was a lot of that was happening. But again, उस time पे मेरे work colleagues also ended up being my lifeboat or my manager particularly, right? They kind of could see the hard work that I was doing, right? मैं हर रोज जाके दिन में 5 कंपनी से मिल रही थी, 5 दिन कर रही थी. तो इससे मुझे एक लेसन और लर्न हुआ which kind of became a component of my overall जुगाड़ thing कि आपके कंट्रोल में कुछ चीज़ें होती हैं, कुछ चीज़ें आपके कंट्रोल में नहीं होती हैं. आप जो कंट्रोल कर सकते हो उसको गिव इट योर बेस्ट. सो द वन थिंग दैट आई लर्नड एट द एंड ऑफ दैट 12 months was दैट सेटिस्फैक्शन कि मैंने जो मेरे बस में था मैंने वो किया कि नहीं किया, उससे ज़्यादा किया कि नहीं किया. अगर मैंने वो किया है तो आउटकम शायद मेरे कंट्रोल में नहीं है बट एटलीस्ट आई कैन वॉक अवे फ्रॉम दैट सिचुएशन विद दैट सेटिस्फैक्शन कि मेरी जितनी कैपेबिलिटी थी.
You gave it your best and more.
I gave it my best and my more. So that has now become a part of my hustle mentality, my jugaad, right? And of course, it helped to have, very supportive manager. And Citibank that way, I think as an organization had that really nice culture that they gave you the rope. They gave you the long rope, saying कि अगर आप मेहनत कर रहे हो, तो आप थोड़ा और try कर लो. So I think that belief, that external belief, kind of helped me as well. So a combination of saying कि मेरे बस में जो है वो करती हूँ मैं, let me give it my all, and that external belief saying कि things will happen, gave me a work ethos or a jugaad that I stand by even today, and it has stood the test of time. कि सर नीचा करके अपना काम करते रहो with the right intent, with the right objective.
That is what I wanted to talk about.
Eventually results will happen. हो सकता है लगे कि शॉर्ट टर्म में रिजल्ट्स नहीं आ रहे हैं, बट अगर आपने राइट इंटेंट से काम किया है, आपने अपना बेस्ट दिया है, तो देयर इज नो फोर्स दैट कैन कीप द आउटकम्स फ्रॉम यू. एटलीस्ट दैट इज माई लास्ट 21 years ऑफ वर्किंग लाइफ रियलाइजेशन. बिकॉज ऐसे मोमेंट्स बहुत बार आए हैं. कितनी बार ऐसा हुआ है कि आप मेहनत कर रहे हो और रिजल्ट नहीं आ रहे हैं. एंड आई एम श्योर with everyone this happens so many times in your life.
You stated exactly what I wanted to go as my next question as I was listening in.